16th of May, Rabbi Levitt, Pele Yoetz.
Okay. Where we're up to. Okay.
We're on the Groom.
Yes. Okay. On the Groom. Okay, so we are up to page 337. And the paragraph, we found that the greatest of the sages on page 337.
337. I see it. We found that the greatest of the sages danced in front of the bride because they did not have an evil inclination within them. Nowadays, however, there is no permission for men and women to mix together, even at the time of a burial, heaven forbid. All the more so during a time of joy, if there were a commingling of men and women, a commingling of men and women, the Satan would dance among them and bring about a disaster. Joy would be transformed into sadness, heaven forbid. Better that the groom should sit among the men and the bride should sit among the women, so that the opposite genders will not see each other. The sages said about Isabel that when the dogs ate her flesh, they did not devour her head, hands, and feet, because she used to greet the brides, dancing and clapping in front of them. Therefore, every man should excuse his honor a bit for the honor of heaven and bring joy to the bride and groom. He will rejoice in his maker and sit under a special canopy.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess I'm up again, huh?
Alan called me before this year. He said that there's no electricity in his section over there.
Yeah, also Roy's in the same section.
So
And Meir is probably busy with his wife. Although it looks like he's having trouble connecting, but so I guess just you and me.
okay.
Okay, so the custom of Israel is likened unto a law of the Torah. They make Chatane Torah every Simchas Torah. And it is a time of joy for all of the Jewish people. Let Israel rejoice with its maker, with the happiness of a mitzvah for the completion of the Torah. Similarly, it is considered a great mitzvah for one to increase his joy, especially during the time of the 7 Hakafot, following the custom of the pious and men of deeds, to jump and dance before the scrolls with songs, praises, rejoicing, and jubilation. It is a tremendously endowed practice to acquire for himself and his children the crown of the Torah. It is a custom of the grooms of Torah to increase their meals and to celebrate with some of their friends the joy of the mitzvah. Certainly, it is a great mitzvah. The leaders of each community must mandate guidelines to diminish the cost of being the groom of the Torah in order that people will not run away, and so that every person can participate, since it is proper that every person, at least once in his life, should do this. However, this is among those things that have no fixed measure, and it is critical that it should not become a mitzvah achieved by doing a sin, and instead of joy cause trembling. Heaven forbid that the children of Israel violate the Torah on the day of Simchas Torah. Rather, let Israel rejoice in its maker, according to the proper measure of the Torah. By doing so, they will merit the crown of Torah and see the building of the Beis Hamikdash, Habeis Habechira. May it speedily be rebuilt in our days. Amen.
Okay, so he spoke here about yeah, this is what they usually do at by Simchas Torah. That's part of the custom that we have, that we choose someone to be the Chassan Torah, and the Chassan Torah is he makes a meal. Over here in Neve Yaakov, generally the Chassan Torah is not generally, every single year, it's the Rav of the Neve Yaakov, Rav Weber, and he has a at the end by the end of the Yontiv, he has a little Nilas HaChag, they call it, the closing of the Chag, but it's very modest. What's served over there, just drink, drink and just a few very simple things. So that's what's done. And the main thing is the great rejoicing. And Rav Weber, he's really at the head of the whole day, together with one other person, Rabbi Brizak, who's his partner, and they rejoice immensely themselves and also everybody else that's there. It's quite a very special time here. Baruch Hashem.
So if he does it every year, that sounds like not what the Pele Yoetz is recommending.
Yeah, that's not the minig over here in the Neve Yaakov, but that's just one shul. There's about 30 shuls here, so Li'ayin Hara. So each shul has their own, that's what they do, and they it go. How do they choose? There's different customs. Maybe some of them, they actually, the shul downstairs, the one who's Chassan Torah, they auction it off like they do for Aliyahs. So it could go for a few thousand shekel. Other places, not sure what they do. Maybe they choose a certain person. But what he suggests over here, that it sounds to me like what he's talking about is that people should buy it. It's auctioned off. But he says that the leaders of the community should mandate guidelines to diminish the costs, so that people will be able to participate, since everybody should become a Chassan Torah at least once in his life. But it's all that aside, the whole idea of being Chassan Torah, the main point on Simchas Torah is to rejoice greatly in the Simcha of Torah, and that one can do even if they're not Chassan Torah. They're not the Chassan Torah. So that's the main thing.
Right. That makes sense.
The Mishnah Berurah, he says that he brings down, they say about the Arizal. The Arizal was revealed to the Arizal so many secrets of the hidden secrets of Torah. Oh, there's Meir. Good morning, Meir.
Good morning.
Good to see you here. The Arizal, we know, is much of the Kabbalah that we have today is because of the Arizal. So many secrets were revealed to him, and the Arizal said about himself that the reason that he was Zocha, that he merited that Hashem should reveal to him so many secrets of the Torah. It wasn't just because he was sweating over a Gemara. It was like Ruach HaKodesh. It was Ruach HaKodesh mamish. That he received different principles of Chachma and secrets of Torah. He says it was in the merit of the great Simcha that he always had in not just by Simchas Torah actually, but in fulfilling mitzvahs, Simcha shel mitzvah. And but certainly the greatest time of Simcha that we have during the year for showing Simcha in mitzvahs is the Simcha that we have on Simchas Torah. So that's when we have Simcha in a mitzvah, we have Simcha when we learn Torah. We display and show outwardly the great Simcha that we have, that we were able to learn Torah, we're able to do mitzvahs. This is a tremendous nachas ruach to Hashem. It makes the mitzvah so much greater. It's the greatest part of the mitzvah, is to do the mitzvah b'simcha. Okay. All right, so a round of applause for 338. And we will let's go to the next section, which is called Chov, or obligation. See what's going on over here, and we call upon Meir to start off our section. Please.
Okay. Chov, obligation. It is a good personal quality that when a person has a debt, he not rest or take it easy until he paid it off. Behold, this brings good upon himself, people say. A person who pays back well is master of the pockets of others. This means that he acquires a good reputation and he is able to borrow money and to buy on credit any time that he wants, and however much he wants. He is able to become rich because a man earns more from the trust that people place in him than he earns with his own money. Therefore, the beginning of the financial empire of someone who is a good merchant is to acquire trust by paying back his loans on time. If he does not have the funds to pay back, he should temporarily borrow from another person in order to pay back his creditor. Then he should borrow money from a third party in order to pay back the second creditor. He should do this in a continuous sequential fashion. Take the hat from one person and place it upon another. The old loan becomes a new loan, and he does not lose his trustworthy status. He also performs a mitzvah when he pays back in a timely fashion. Behold, our sages in Ketuvot said, the paying back of a loan is a mitzvah, and he also performs a kindness by not locking the door before lenders. A person who is careful in this matter and who does not rest until he pays it back should think to himself, how much more so must I be quick to pay any debt that I have to the present, and be among those who hurry to do a mitzvah. A person should not delay when a mitzvah opportunity comes to his hand, and he should not rest or take it easy until he does it.
Okay. Very good.
He's talking about loans and money here, but it should apply also to anything that one borrows, I would think.
Oh, right, right. Right. I guess that's generally that's the most common thing that is borrowed, number one. And number two, well, let's see, when somebody borrows an item, also, I guess you're right that he's not supposed to rest or take it easy until he has done what? Until he has returned the article. Sometimes people borrow things and they forget all about the fact that they borrowed it, and they don't return it to the people that and then it's much easier to do that because you don't have to work to earn money in order to pay off the loan. You just give the thing back that you borrowed. Hopefully it's somewhat in the same condition that it was when you borrowed it.
Right.
But I mean, it goes without. I mean, it's that's the other thing. And but I think that here is it particularly a people, because people might feel like, oh, what do you want? I mean, I can't. What am I supposed to do? I can't. I don't have the money to pay you back. Well, so go get a job and go work and pay it off. But no, you borrowed the money. You got to pay it back. That's what Pele Yoetz is saying. He should not rest or take it easy till he pays it off. He has an obligation to pay it off. And it's also, he mentions that it's not just for his own obligation, but if he doesn't pay it off, what does the lender think? The lender thinks to himself, this guy, it's not a good deal over here for me. I lend money and I don't get it back. And what's the guy going to do? The lender, he's going to say, what do I need this for? I'm going to close down my gemach. I'm going to close down my lending practices because I don't get paid back. And then what's the problem with that? He's performing a disservice to other borrowers because he's locked. This is what the Gemara says already. This is what he said over here. The paying back of a loan is a mitzvah, and he also performs a kindness by not locking the door before other lenders. Because if one guy doesn't pay back, then the next 10 guys are also not going to get a loan from this guy because he's going to get mad. So that's the so it's ruin it for everybody else also. So so that's the story. Okay. Very good. He's got quite a bit more to say about this. So let's continue.
On the other hand, a person who lent money to another Jew or his brother should not press him for payment if he knows that the borrower does not have the means to pay. It is even forbidden for the lender to pass by him, even if he is concerned that the borrower is a cheater, that he has the funds, but pretends that he does not. The creditor still needs to be concerned. Perhaps he is telling the truth, and he must be apprehensive lest he violate the prohibition of not pressing for payment. However, if it is clear to him that the borrower has cash or a cash equivalent in the form of real estate or movable property possessions with which he is able to repay his loan, then he is not obligated to have mercy on him. How can he be happy while the other person consumes his money? Rather, he may coerce him in every manner possible according to Jewish law, with the permission of the Beis Din. If there is no Jewish court, he may force him to pay even in a Gentile court, even from the shirt off his back. Nevertheless, even in this situation, a person needs to behave in the way of good people and in the upright path, which is a diadem of glory to the one who performs it, and brings him glory from others. The lender should not be demanding based on the principles of the Torah. He should not conduct himself beyond the letter of the law. If he suspects that the borrower is a swindler and acts unethically, that he just does not want to repay the loan, then he may act towards him in an improper manner and collect his loan whenever he has the chance, even from the shirt off his back.
Okay. These are matters that are spoken about in the Chofetz Chaim Sefer Avas Chesed, which talks about the lending of money and all the various things that happen with this that the Pele Yoetz is talking about. Okay. So we go to the next paragraph, 339. If the borrower is a good person.
Okay.
Mayor.
It says, if the borrower is a good person who conducts business with integrity, but is suffering financially, yet still wants to pay back bit by bit, then the good and upright thing to do in the eyes of God and man is not to press him to give up as collateral his house or his household belongings. One should not cause him financial failure by announcing in public that the borrower owes him money, or by collecting the debt from monetary equivalents or merchandise in court and by judges. Behold, this undermines his business status by destroying his credit and causes him great damage. This is what the lender should do to pacify God and people. He should extend the time of the loan and collect it bit by bit, for small payments will accumulate. If the creditor is capable of providing him with a means of income so that he will be able to pay back and still have enough to eat, this is a great mitzvah and fulfills when your brother becomes poor and his means are failing, you will strengthen him. From Vayikra. It is the best form of charity. The way a person treats others is the way God will treat him. Every person is tethered to God who can survive if the Holy One, blessed be he, his creditor collects his debt immediately without any delay. Nevertheless, just as a person does not pardon his debt, likewise, the Holy One, blessed be he, is not a concession maker. Rather, he attenuates his anger and collects that which is his. It's a big word, attenuate.
Yeah, what is that? What he's saying over here, basically, that a good lender should give his debtor a chance to pay off, even if it's bit by bit, even if it's small payments, but they'll accumulate, and he shouldn't even use other means, even to go to the Beis Din, to collect it all from the guy, even if he's got a house and he has possessions and property, to be able to pay it off, because that would really be doing great damage to this person. So that's the situation that he should do, the lender. And okay, and so then he says, then the Pele Yoetz gives us a bit of musar. If somebody's going to say, "Well, that's what I got to do. I have to go give him such a break, and wait for the payoff." First, he says that's the mitzvah of we had this in last week's parsha in Bahar, Chazak Dabam, that when somebody becomes he translates over here, becomes poor, if he starts to have difficult time in business, you'd want to keep him afloat, and you'll strengthen him. So this is the best form of tzedakah. And then he reminds us, think about the way that Hashem treats us. Hashem treats us the way that we treat others. So if we treat the debtor very well, so Hashem is going to treat us very well. Okay, so then he says, but it doesn't mean you have to pardon the debt. No one said you have to do that. Because Hashem is also, he doesn't pardon any debt. So then what does he say that Hashem does? Likewise, Hashem is not a concession maker. I don't know what he means by that. Rather, he attenuates his anger and collects that which is his. Let me see what the word is in the Lashon HaKodesh. Sometimes it gets lost in the translation over here. Okay. Chesed, Hashada, Hasidut, Hamosav, Cheshbon, Hashivus, Hashud, Hatan, Chov. Okay. Okay, this is what he says over here. V'kiyomo chachicha omot yodo v'achazakta v'hi gedoyla shebitztokos u'b'mida she'adam moded bo modedin lo she'kol adam hu bal chov eitz lamakom. Oh, here comes Roy. Roy got his chashmal, his electricity.
Very good.
Oh, look at that. The minute we started reading from the Hebrew Sefer, Roy got back his chashmal.
Yep.
Yeah, Alan still hasn't.
Oh, okay. Well, Be'ez Hashem, if we'll read a little bit more from the Hebrew Sefer, and we'll see if it works. The way that a person is moded, he measures out his midos, the way he acts and treats other people, modedin lo. That's the way that he is going to be treated by Hashem. Shekol adam hu bal chov eitz lamakom. Because remember, everybody's got to remember, every person is a chov eitz lamakom. He is indebted utterly to Hashem. V'oy mi yichya im yirtza hakadosh baruch hu shehu bal chov ligvos es chovo takef. Oy vavoy to the person that Hashem will want to get paid back the chov that this person owes him right away, without delay. Oy vavoy. So the Pele Yoetz is giving us a very big mussar over here. Be a bit patient with this person who's trying to pay you back, because that's really the situation that you are in together with Hashem, that we're trying to pay back. Achal koponim, but all that notwithstanding, just like a person is not at all required by any means to forego the obligation which is owed him. He doesn't have to excuse the debt of the person that owes him money. So to Hashem is also not a vatrin. Ella marich apei v'gabe delay. But what does Hashem do? He gives he's marich af. He as it were, he's slow to anger. He's slow to anger, and therefore he gives us time to work ourselves out and try to make something of ourselves and get things right, and be able to do what it is that we're supposed to do, what Hashem wants us to do. He gives us time to work out, and if we're not perfect right away, so then Hashem gives us time. But also Hashem does not, he says, Hashem is not excused completely either. He's not a vatrin, agave delay, and he collects what's due him. That's how it says in the Hebrew. Okay. All right. Well, we're still waiting for Alan. There's Hashem.
But we're on page 340. Is it the last paragraph or?
We just did the top paragraph on 340.
Right.
Rather, he attenuates his anger and collects that which is his. Okay, so that's all right. So Roy, We're happy to have you back.
Happy to be back.
And you're honored with the next section in the
Thank you.
Pele Yoetz on page 340. Therefore, a living man should take to heart
And do everything that is within his power to repay his debt little by little to the extent that he can bear, before the collectors come knocking and exact payment, or with or without his consent. It is an attribute of a just court to accept that whatever a man pays back of his own volition will count towards payment of the full loan. Similar to the law of a watch person who was given a charge that was lost or stolen, and he preferred to pay and not swear in court. The owner transfers to him the rights of a double, quadruple, and quintuple penalties because it did not trouble him to come to court. I will write about this entry in entry Historian.
Okay, so he's talking about a case of a shomer who is given, right? Somebody was given something to watch, to guard by the owner, and what happened? It was lost or stolen, and now in this situation. Again, here we're talking about the halachas of shomer sachar. We're talking here about a if it wasn't through any pshia, wasn't through any negligence or culpable conduct that it was lost or stolen. So then the only one that would be required to pay it back would be somebody that was being paid to be a watchman. So I guess that's what he's talking about over here, that he was paid to be a watchman. And so in that case, he will be liable for the article that was lost or stolen. And he's going to pay it back. And even though he does have a way to exonerate himself by making a shvua. Shvua sashomrim. It's a shvua deraisa actually that the Torah mandates, but he doesn't want to do that. So the Pele Yoetz says that's a very good thing that he did over there. He didn't trouble the owner of the article to go to the Beis Din, and he just told him, "Look, I'm going to pay you. I'm going to pay you." And this, what he's talking about over here, double, quadruple, quintuple penalties. What's he mean by all of that? Oh, he quotes the Gemara over here. Kedin bal pikadon. It's the Gemara in Bava Metzia Lamed Daled Amid Aleph. She'im shilem v'loi rotza l'shoveya. If he says I want to pay, and I don't want to make the shvua would be he makes a shvua that he was not that he didn't steal the article from the guy, and he doesn't have it in his possession. That I believe is the whole shvua. I don't know if he has to swear to the fact that he was not culpable or negligent. We'd have to take a look in the Gemara over there and check and see exactly what he's if that is also part of his shvua. But in any case, if he doesn't want to swear like that, and he says he'll pay. Mishum delo atrache, b'veidina. So he won't bother to bother him to go to Beis Din and do this din Torah over there. So therefore, Maknele tashlumi kefa with tashlumi arba chamisha. Oh, that's what he means. Okay. It says over there that the owner of the object will transfer to him the payment that he would have to pay of paying kefil or daled v'hei.
What's the reference? Baba Messiah, did you say? Lamed Daled?
Yeah, we could look up this Gemara.
And Lamed Daled, Lamed Aleph.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for some reason you don't. Yeah, you could write that down in your safer over here.
Yeah, I just did.
Baba Metzia, Lamed Dalet. Okay, I'll be back in a minute.
Take a look at above and see it.
Mhm. 34.
Oh boy, Alan's here. He's got the last 6 minutes.
I'm back.
Hi, Alan.
And just got it back on. They said 3 hours.
Wow.
They said 3 hours. And Roy got in already.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Roy.
Yeah, he beat you by just a few minutes.
Yeah, it was about 10, 20 minutes, something like that.
All right, Lamed Dalet, 34. And 34 what? 34.
A.
34A. 34.
Oh, here it is.
And
It's about 20 lines down from the bottom of the page. It's first word of the line is Nami, the Kaima Ba'agam, and then there's 2 dots, and then it says Shilem below Rotzeli Shava.
sorry, this is on page, sorry.
34A.
34A.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 lines down from the top of the page.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Shishi below. Rotse.
Shilem below Rotzeli Shava. This is what it says in the Mishnah.
Mhm.
The Mishnah is it's the beginning of the Perek. Perek Mafkid. Mafkid Eitzel Chavero. It's on Lamed Gimel Lamed Beis on page 33 B. So this is maybe we'll just read this. No, we just have a minute or so. I'll just read the Mishnah over here. We'll get some knowledge in the halachas over here. Hamafkid eitzel chavero, behemo okelim, benigdavu osha abdu, shilem below lova abdu kama. Somebody gives to his friend for safekeeping, to watch an animal or various kalim that he has, benignavu, osha abdu, and they were stolen by a ganav, or they were lost. So it says, Shilem below rotzini shava. If the watchman pays and he doesn't want to take a shvua, the shvua that a shomer could take, sharei, because we say, amru shomer chinam nishba v'yotze. Someone who is a unpaid watchman, he could take a shvua, and he's good to go. Nimsa haganav, if they find the ganav, mishalem tashlumi kefil, he's got to pay double for being a ganav. Tavakomacha mishalem tashlumi arba v'chamisha. If he sold it or checked it, he's got to pay 4 and 5. The mishalem, who does he have to pay it to? The misha pikad and eitzlo, to the owner of the deposited item. Nishba v'lo rotza l'shalem, if he wants to swear and does not want to pay the watchman, nimsa ganav, if in that case they find the ganav, mishalem tashlumi kefil, tabachamacha mishalem tashlumi arba chamisha, lemi mishalem, who does he pay? The balapikadam. Oh, so in the first scenario, Lamisha Pikadon Eitzlo is referring to the what's his name? To the watchman. Okay, fine. All right. That's
Very
a
good.
little bit about the Mishnah. Regel achas.
Okay.
So we'll say goodbye to Mayor.
Okay. Have a good day, everyone.
Have a great day, Mayor. Basuras Toivois.
Amen.
Have a good day, Mayor.
Okay.
Dear Mayor, be well.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be back soon. Bezrat Hashem.
Hopefully, Bezrat Hashem. Bezrat